Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dairy Raid. It's Saturday morning. On my way over to the office to do a little bit of work in some peace and quiet. Let the family have the house while I sit in my cave and get some football work done. But I would be remiss if I did not at least comment on the Xavier Lucas situation. I try to avoid, again, punditry, the clickbait nature of sports, quote-unquote, journalism these days. I'm not a journalist. So we're going to look at the facts a little bit, what little we know, and see if we can come up with some conclusions. And we're going to do it here relatively quickly, and I've done this on purpose where I'm about less than 10 minutes from my destination, so we don't sit and dwell on this topic too long. So let's just get into it. All right, so for those of you who are living underneath the rock that's underneath the rock, the situation is this. Xavier Lucas entered the transfer portal, or said he was entering the transfer portal on, I believe it was the 19th. It's the 27th today. And as of yet, UW has not released him to the portal. Xavier and his family have claimed they have done everything they are supposed to, and UW has not made a comment yet. What information I have gathered, and I haven't looked into this much because honestly, this kind of stuff does not interest me that much. But what I have read and people I've talked to, and the best source of information I've gotten is Colton Bartholomew's piece on Badger Extra, is simply it's contract dispute. There is a contract. Don't know if it was signed. Apparently it was agreed upon. There may or may not have been some money exchanged for services to be rendered in the 2025 season. Xavier Lucas then skipped town for the holiday break after exams and has been communication dark for the coaching staff and the administration since. That's where we are. Now, as soon as Xavier Lucas popped in the portal, made the announcement, everyone immediately said, well, he's being tampered with and he's going to Miami. Seconds after that, speculation has been made. The first Miami beat writers are writing about connections between Xavier Lucas and Miami. So it doesn't take rocket scientists to figure out how this all came about. Was there tampering with Miami? Probably. But to be honest, I don't care. Until there are regulations in place to stop tampering, there's going to be tampering. I'm sure the Badgers do it in whatever ways that they feel morally satisfied that they are doing. Every team does. The old saying is, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So I'm sure there's something going on underhanded. But regardless, what is clear is if Xavier Lucas entered into a contract with UW, whether it be the collective, whether it be the new revenue sharing plan, whatever, there was an agreement for services rendered in the 2025 season, and he just decided the best way to get out of that deal so he could get the same thing at Miami is to go communication dark and enter the portal. That's not how it works. And I am all for it, for him leaving, to be honest. As talented as he is, this is the new face of college football. Let's face it, Xavier Lucas used UW. to be honest, the entire time, once we signed him, didn't think he was going to last, because he has no ties to Wisconsin. He has no ties to the Midwest. Paul Haynes apparently pisses off every cornerback he's ever coached, but the Badgers could offer a path to playing time early. He got the playing time, he excelled, and now he's going to go somewhere else and get paid. I have no problems with that. Honestly, I don't. Until contracts are put in place and years and stuff are put in place, he is free to do that. And everyone's talking about, oh, what about loyalty and stuff like that? Screw loyalty. Are the coaches loyal to the players? No. And so he's a kid. He deserves to get what he wants. And sometimes be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. That's what a lot of these kids are going to find out, especially in this coming year, when there are going to be thousands of players in the portal without places to go because of the roster changes. So that's that. So what does this mean for UW? It's a lose-lose situation that is going to turn into a win. Follow me on this. Whether they're right or wrong, in this case, it looks like they are bullying a kid and they're holding him against his will. Whether they're right or wrong, whether there was tampering, whether there was contracts, doesn't matter. The optics look bad. And because the optics look bad, it doesn't matter what happens in the situation. It's going to look bad. If they're wrong and they're just holding this kid hostage because they're pissed that Miami made contact with him, they're going to look petty. And they are going to look as much behind the times as a lot of us think they are. But how can they win in this lose-lose situation? How can college football fans win in this lose-lose situation? Well, somebody's got to be the first. Somebody's got to be the first to take a stand and say, hey, we had a deal. We expected him to honor it. Don't care what your personal politics are with coaches and administration and stuff like that. The kid or his people convinced him to sign on the dotted line. If that's what happened and there was a deal in place, he has to honor it. And somebody has to take a stand and make somebody honor a contract and honor and start moving this NIL garbage into a space where it is going to get reformed, where everybody is protected. The schools, the players, the coaches, everybody. Because everyone is getting taken advantage of it in this situation. And at the end of the day, nobody is winning. Somebody has to be the first, and unfortunately, it looks like the Badgers are going to be first. It is going to sever recruiting ties to certain areas. Again, in this day and age of NIL and all this, are we expecting kids from South Florida to come to Madison for 5 years for an education? No. They're coming here to play football for opportunity to go on to the next level. We have got to get this out of our head that these kids, that 90% of them are going to college for school. They're going to play football. That's it. And it's been that way forever. It's been that way from the days of being able to major in intramural basket weaving and music appreciation and getting gold Trans Ams from boosters. Football hasn't changed. It's just done publicly now. So I hope this situation resolves itself soon. More importantly, I hope this situation is shadowed by more important things like hiring of quarterback coaches and safety coaches and shuffling of coaching staffs so we can get back to the game. Because at the end of the day, there's still a game to be played. So That's it for Xavier Lucas. And that's it for today's walk and talk. I want to keep this relatively short. Had a couple good questions in the mailbag. I'm going to make separate videos on those later that deal more with the scheme, which is what we're here for, right? You're here for the niche inside the niche. All right. So thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.